Okay, we're going to start with our fingers. Let's get a tabletop position, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, and we're going to pull our palms off the ground and lean forward and stretch out those fingers. And we're going to take nice deep breaths and just stretch out those fingers. And we're going to try to get our palms at close to a 90-degree angle to the floor. Obviously, it's not easy. This is the type of thing gymnasts do to keep nice and flexible. And this is going to help prevent you from getting arthritis one day. And so next, we're going to spin our hands around to stretch our wrists. It's tabletop position. If this is too hard, you can kind of pull your hands backward further, but we're just going to pull our hips back and stretch the underside of our arms, the underside of our forearms. And just to show you from the side angle, it looks like this. Just relax. We're stretching out those fingers, the underside of those forearms. A couple more seconds. You can even move around in a circle as well. Perfect. Next up, we're going to do wrist extension. Hands perpendicular to your body, arms as straight as you can, and we're slowly pushing our wrists down. So ideally, they're going to form 90-degree angles, right? And we're just holding this, breathing deeply, tabletop position for the most part. And we're just relaxing here. And I really want you, again, you're not forcing anything, and you can even push into the ground a little bit with your fingers, which helps you even get a little bit more range of motion. And the last thing we're going to do really quick is we're going to stretch our thumbs. So stretch the thumb on your left side because we haven't done that yet. And just kind of pulling it back here, away from your other fingers, and let's do the right side real quick. Okay? Perfect. Next up, let's do some rocking. We're going to have our knees wider than shoulder width apart, really as wide as you can. I'm on a mat here, but you can go nice and wide. And I want you to rock back, push your head down as far as you can, so your chin is touching your chest. And I want you to breathe into your belly for a few rounds. What we're doing now is we're increasing neck mobility and also developing proper breathing patterns. Let's look up to the sky. Really curl that back and curl your head as high as you can. Keep on breathing into your belly. Nice and slowly. Let's look over your right shoulder. Breathing into your belly. Now your left side. Breathing into your belly. We're going to have a nice stretch on your neck as we do this. Okay, lying. We're now going to do lying rotations, hip rotations. Lying completely flat on the ground. We're going to take your right leg and we're going to cross it over your left while keeping everything straight, pressing into the ground with your hands. And we're just doing rotations here. We're getting as much range of motion as we can. We're doing this 3 times. And then we're going to come around the other side 3 times. Beautiful. Keep it up. We really want to get as much range of motion as possible here. This isn't easy. You should be feeling this in your hamstrings, your groin. Let's go to the other side. Left across the right. Make as big a circle as you can. You're going to be feeling a lot of muscles you might have never felt before. And we're going to go to the other side. Again, pressing into the ground, getting as big circles as you can. This is working those little muscles that you don't normally work. Last one. You can do it. Nice big, big, big circle. Awesome. We're going to sit up. And we're going to take that right foot, put it into your left inner thigh, and then we're just going to come over and do a nice little hamstring stretch. The key here is really just to relax. You can squeeze your left quad to get a little bit more of a range of motion. And just relax. And you can even pull that foot towards you. And if you can't touch, that's totally cool. You can just keep your hands on your shins. Let's go to the other side. Left foot into the right inner thigh, and we're just going to do the same thing and just stretch, just relax. Again, the breathing is the name of the game with mobility. It's to breathe into your belly, relax so your muscles can be supple and strong. Okay? Beautiful. Next up, we're going to do hip flexor stretch. You're going to start with your knee, right knee underneath your hips, left legs out, both knees forming 90-degree angles, and then you're just going to slowly lean forward. To make this harder, you can actually lift your hands over your head or one hand over your head. And to make it even harder, you can look up. Breathe into your belly as you do this and hold the stretch. Beautiful. Let's switch sides. Left knee down, right leg forward, and we're going to do the same thing. Again, you can start out with your hands on your hips. We're keeping our hips pretty straight. We're not bending too far forward. And then we're going to lift our arms up, and you can kind of do what you feel is right for you. The idea is you're feeling this huge stretch on the front of your thigh. Awesome. Okay, next up we've got bird dogs. And we're going to be starting out in a tabletop position. And we're going to push through the ground with our right hand. And we're going to extend with our left hand and our right leg while keeping your hips completely flat. The real key with this exercise is keeping those hips flat as you extend. You might be wondering, why is this a mobility exercise? Because it's getting all those little muscles around your hips and your core to activate so all the other muscles that are tight and weak can start functioning properly. Let's do this for another handful of reps. Just keep on going nice and slow. Squeeze the glute of the leg that you're pushing back. It's another key tip. Beautiful. Okay, next up, we're going to go to my money exercise, the spider stretch. And we're going to start in a push-up position. You're going to step your right foot as high as you can up towards your right hand. And we're going to reach and twist up with our right arm. And just breathe into our bellies. Let's do it with the left side. And you're also looking up at your tan. This is one of my money stretches. If you can only do one stretch each day, this is probably the one you want to do. Let's keep on going. Again, you're starting to push a position, keeping that back leg as straight as you can and just twisting and relaxing and keeping as smooth as possible. Perfect. Next up, we're going to do a squat movement where I want you to kind of start with on your toes here. And we're just going to kind of push down our right knee down to the ground, and we're going to do our left knee to the ground as well. And right now we're stretching out our toes and our ankles. We're also stretching out our hips as well. We're just going to kind of do this, and this is something I always do before I work out, just because I like stretching out those toes and the ankles. Also really helps if you are doing a normal set of squats to kind of get your ankles nice and warmed up. The next thing I want to do is I'm actually going to hold my right arm up, and I'm going to push my left knee out to get that extra range of motion in my hips. And if you can actually keep your heels down and do that, that's ideal. I'm going to now go to the right side, kind of pushing that out, opening up the hips. And the last exercise is standing. So now we're going to do a standing lateral stretch to stretch the outside of our bodies. And so let's start with our right hand, and we're going to lean to our left side, and the left hand is going to kind of go across or down your leg. Our feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, and we're just stretching this side, the right side of our bodies. Just kind of hold it there and really sink into the stretch. You can even push back a little bit with your shoulder. Let's go to the other side. Same thing again, we're getting this really nice stretch. On the sides, you should be feeling this kind of around your hips. Keep that shoulder back, and you could even not have this on your hand. That opposite hand can be off your leg to get even more of a stretch and make it even more intense. So that's it. That's a 10-minute mobility routine. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon.